and welcome to my video, Emma's Life in Norfolk. I hope you're all well. If you're new here, these videos are all about my garden in Norfolk, what I get up to in Norfolk, and different things that I do sometimes outside of Norfolk. And I post them here and just share with you what plans I've got in my life and in my garden. So the sun was beginning to go down and I decided, even though the grass was a little bit damp, that I should really take the opportunity to cut the grass because the grass was really quite long. This year, I have said this for many years, but this year I really want to focus on getting this particular piece of grass to be really nice condition. I want to have it without moss. I want to have it without weeds. And so I'm going to be treating my garden, my grass, to get it to a point where the grass in this section really looks nice. So I'd like this to be quite formal. And then the bit, as you know, beyond the little kind of concrete pathway, and then where the little bird area is and the hedges, that bit is more of a wildlife garden. So that is what I'd like to achieve. You'll see that I also cut the grass in the front garden, so I get all that done. And then I recorded quite a long video in slow time that unfortunately my microphone didn't work. So I'm afraid I've had to take off the sound because you can barely hear what I'm saying. And then I will talk over and explain to you what I'm doing. So I hope you enjoy the video. For those of you that follow my other channel, then thank you for joining me on my garden journey, which, you know, partly is also around getting tidier. There's lots of things in my working area which I really need to get sorted and get on top of. So you can see here I've got a couple of plans in this area. My plan, like I told you, about my grass, but also I want my hedge to be tidy. And then I'm going to build up my border on the left, and I need to clear the pathway. So cut all the edges of the grass and then really make this look like more of a formal design. So I didn't cut the grass beyond this little section, and the reason for that is I've still got all the pile of things that I'm going to have a big fire. I'm going to have a big bonfire. Now the reason why I haven't done that yet is because I won't have the bonfire during the day. Certainly not when there's a lovely sunny day. I think it's awful to have a fire. And also in the evenings, I've just had too many things on. At the moment, my husband is in France, so I don't really want to be outside at night when my daughter is indoors. For A, I won't hear her if she needs me, but B, if I fell near the fire or hurt myself, there isn't someone else to kind of help, standing by with a bucket of water. So you've not really seen my front garden much, so I just thought that I'd share that with you. You could see just there on the video that I've got quite a big hedge, a nice grass section, and then flower bed. So here you can see that I'm getting ready to prepare my garden and tidy up this bit. Now it looks really small from this angle, but actually I'm going to be able to get probably 3 rows of potatoes, 1 row of beans, or 4 rows of potatoes. So you can see that I've got my old canes there, which are from my beans. So I grew dwarf beans last year. Now I probably buy 1 or 2 packs of green beans every week, so it makes sense for me to grow them. The seeds aren't cheap, but I just think, given how our vegetables are treated, how a lot of food is grown in water, we're not getting the right vitamins, we're not getting the minerals that we need. I think it's really good to grow your own, whatever space you've got. Now, some people have said to me they don't have a garden at all, but they've got a pot. Now, with a pot, you can grow strawberries. With 1 pot, you can grow tomatoes. And I promise there's nothing better than a tomato that's grown in soil from your garden compared to some of the tomatoes that you can buy in the supermarkets at the moment. I almost feel that we're forgetting what a tomato and strawberry actually tastes like when it's been grown in soil which is full of the minerals that are needed, and yeah, not grown with loads of chemicals. And my greenhouse looks quite small there in the video too. I suppose that's about 6 foot by, I forget, or 7 by 5 or 6 by 4, I forget. So all the pots there, last year they all had beans in. So I had small plant. I'm going to do that again. That worked really well. And by putting them in the longer pots, I can move them to different places. So whilst we were at home, I actually had all of those pots in a line along the edge of the fence. And then when we went away, I then moved them over so they were underneath the watering system that my husband set up. But this year, I'm going to leave them along the edge of the fence, put the bean plants in, and then I'm going to have several rows of potatoes. So I got all the canes from the garden and sort of cleared away some of the leaves and old pieces of the bean. And then also, because you can't hear me, but what I was also talking about was I use this kind of plastic metal cord that you can tie around things to help things grow and hold on to the cane. You know what I'm like in terms of keeping things. A lot of things like that I would keep and reuse, but I don't really like it. I don't think it's very good for birds to use. So once I use it up, I'm going to put it in the bin. I worry that, well, with birds, I just worry that animals could potentially get caught in it. That's what I worry about. So you can see that also I've got lots of pots there up on the stands. So I'm trying to put all the pots in the same place. And there's quite a few plants here that have either been overwintered or plants that I could actually now plant in my bed. So I've got some lovely artichoke plants. The other plant I always forget the name of, which is in the same family as artichoke, that has those lovely silver green leaves. And goodness me, when I started emptying out the pots and those big like tray plant pots, they were full of worms. And I really wish that I'd got the chickens, because the chickens would have had absolute great fun pecking around that area. I do miss the chickens in so many ways, but you know, like I said to you before, that they're difficult to look after, but also they are really quite restrictive. We like to go on holiday a couple of times a year, and although I said that I wouldn't get attached to them, and they're not my like if my husband wants them, I said they're your responsibility. Ultimately, my family lived closer to where we live than his family, so it did mean that I did all the organising for ensuring that they were fed while we were away. And one year we were away for a month, and when we went to America. So bit by bit, I'm going through the plants. If the soil was poor in a plant pot and it's full of weeds, then I'm just putting that in the brown bin. But otherwise, I'm weeding the tops and then just really digging some of the soil back in. My father-in-law was saying about his soil, how it used to be really, really poor. But since he's dug in fertiliser and compost and horse manure, he's really improved the quality of the soil. So that's really what I would like to aim towards. Now this part of the garden gets sun a little bit later. I was out here in the morning, so the sun sort of moves around. It looks quite shady at the moment, but I think also because the time of the year, the sun is obviously a bit lower, I'm guessing, because it looks sunny through that further part of my garden, doesn't it? But where I'm standing is quite shady. So bit by bit, I clear up this area, and you'll see that right towards the ends, it's almost cleared. There's a little bit more I need to do, but I stopped because I had my ladybird timer, and I realised that I needed to go and do the school run. So unfortunately, it didn't capture all of the work that I did. So it didn't capture all, but my next video, you're going to see me putting the potatoes in. And then I do a little clip where I went to the garden centre. So I had a little look around the garden centre, which was very nice, on Monday, and had a look at the seed potatoes and purchased a couple of bags. And then right at the very end, I am going to be doing a proper video, but right at the very end, you'll see a clip of the kitchen tiling. So I just thought I'd share that with you for those of you that are interested. I've left that right at the end in case you're not interested. So next job, when I go outside in the garden next time, and as it's warming up, I'm getting more and more excited about going outside. I've got some seed, 2, 3, 4 packs of seeds that I want to put out. I'm going to do a video where I go through all of my seeds so you can see what I've got. Then I'm going to put my beans seeds in, and I'm going to put my potatoes in. So they're my next jobs for this kind of working area. I'm also going to get rid of some more pots because I have got far too many pots. It's a bit silly how many pots I've got. I just don't possibly need the number that I've currently got. And I'm thinking about moving my cold frame over, like I said the other day. But what I was thinking about doing, where the cold frame is, I thought I might put some more beans in. So I'm just trying to use up the little area of space that I have in this end to try to grow as much as I can. Also, I talk about it and you can't quite hear what I'm saying, but at the side of the greenhouse, the other side to the water bar on the right there, I've got 2 massive, massive, massive pots. Now, I went to the dump, the recycling centre one time, and to my horror, this man was just throwing them over the side. And just as he was about to do that, I said, "Oh, are you putting them in the bin? Are you throwing them over?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Is there any chance that I could have them, please?" Well, he was really happy for me to have them. And I can't get my head around why people get rid of things that have got life in them. Nowadays, it's becoming more and more popular and common that if you've got something you don't want anymore, you just put a sign, free, and put it outside your house and somebody just takes it. So like, for instance, I took some DIY waste, some rubbish, to the recycling centre on Monday, and there was a pottery pot. I just think it's so horrendous that all these things are ending up getting put in landfill sites. Really makes me so upset. So these massive great pots, I've had potatoes in them in a few years in a row, but because of where they are, I can't get to them properly. So when my husband gets back from France, I think between the two of us, we're going to get those pots out, lift them out, and make proper use of them. So I'm either going to put some potatoes in them where I can actually easily get to them and dig them up when they're ready, or I might put like a tree in one of them. They're really, really massive. I mean, I would think that to buy them new, they must have been around £30. And yeah, he was just throwing them over as rubbish. They weren't cracked or broken or anything. It amazes me. I think because I'm the sort of person where literally I don't like any sort of waste and try to let something have a second life almost, find another way of reusing it. Sometimes maybe too much. So by the end of the clip, which I don't show you all because the phone died, but I managed to clear this whole section. So next time I come out, there's just a little bit that I need to dig over, which are near the onions. I've got my kohlrabi on the left, which I'm going to leave, which hopefully the kohlrabi will keep on growing. Does anybody know? I put the kohlrabi in too late last year, so I didn't get any vegetable from it. Will it grow the second year, or will it now just go to seed? I'm not quite sure what happens to them. If anybody knows, please let me know. And then some of these pots that you can now see me going through, they're herbs. So they're herbs which have got a bit full of weeds or just need to be tidied up, need to be watered, need to be fed. So I'm going to put them back into my herb section. And then when we're away, I'm going to get some of those little water drip feeders. That's what I'm going to do. And then I'll be less dependent upon people to water all my plants, because it's quite a big ask. One year, family members came round, and it was really funny because I think one family member had forgotten that I was like on the group chat, And I'd created the group chat, or maybe she thought I was on holiday and wouldn't see it. But the first message said something like, just been round to Emma's to do the watering. Like took me about an hour. There are about 60 pots or something like that. And afterwards I thought, oh yeah, that is actually quite a lot of work for people to do to help out, isn't it? So you don't have to use a watering can, you do have the hose, but it still takes quite a lot of time. So I thought you might like that little clip, just where I show you where I've been, just very, very briefly, and you can see where I got the potatoes from. And then right at the very end, you'll see my tiling part way through, where you can see all the tiles have been put up with all the spaces and everything. And then you'll see when it's actually complete, which is, it's just made a massive improvement. So I'm really pleased with how it's looking. So my project is getting there. So thank you very much for your support and your encouragement. Please drop me a note in the comments for what your weekend jobs are for this weekend. And I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.